Hello everyone, welcome back. Not all of us have the luxury of playing 10, 12, 13 hours a day. Through a mixture of circumstance, luck, a bit of hard work, in my case no talent, I've managed to get there, but I understand that for a lot of people even a 1 or 2 or 3 hour commitment daily is impossible. As a matter of fact, when you start teaching students, you realize that most of the time you are working with a half hour a day. That's what most people can squeeze in. And this is not laziness, this is actually very highly motivated people who find the time to come to lessons, who pay for their lessons, who then go home and take time out of their family life to practice. So it's really important that we honor this effort and the time we put in, trying to squeeze the most out of each minute, not in quantity but in quality. So in today's video I'm going to try to give you a few tips. I kind of designed a couple exercises just to give you a few pointers, but really this is something you should interiorize and then apply to your own situation. If you end up enjoying this video, please do consider liking, subscribing, and commenting. The channel has gone through a bit of a surge in the last few days, and beyond the subscriptions and the views, really what's amazing to me is the comments. Waking up in the morning and finding dozens or even hundreds of comments that really show that this little community here is growing, and hopefully we can help more and more people out. And thank you for being so kind in your comments, but also thought-provoking. I get a lot of ideas from reading them, so keep them coming. Anyway, let's get back to it. When we're working with limited time, we're trying to do two things. First of all, maintain the quality of the practice. This is usually what fails. People are trying to scramble around, trying to find as many things as possible because they don't have enough time to practice what they think they should. And so if you start building on shaky foundations, then you're going to be in trouble. So then you're going to be one of my students who come in 10 years or 15 years into their playing, and they're still at the same level as they were after 2 years. So this is definitely not something we want to do. That's not saving time. That's actually wasting it. So first of all, quality. At the same time, though, we kind of have to think that if we had 10 hours, we could practice 1 hour of scales, 1 hour of technique, 1 hour of picking, and whatever it is. Now we have to condense all this while maintaining point one. So I'm going to give you now a couple of examples, and we're going to look at how you can try to do it for yourself. All right, so let's say I'm sitting down today to learn scales, specifically maybe the melodic minor scale. And what I don't want to do is this, that most people do when they're short on time. They try to play it as many times as possible, but with poor technique, poor sound, poor everything. This will not get you anywhere. This is what a lot of people do. But this might maybe teach you the scale somehow. Then you'll be sloppy, you'll miss notes, you don't know exactly where the fingers go, and this is not something you can build upon. So what I would do is, no matter how long it takes you, even if it takes you 3 days, I don't mind, but learn it perfectly, learn it properly. So learn to be able to play with the same fingering, with no doubts as to where the fingers go, and so on. To do that, you might need to break it down. This is one of the key concepts we're going to cover today, is breaking stuff down. You don't have to play the whole scale up and down. If you want, you could just play 1 or 2 strings. If you're sure of it, you can continue. Otherwise, there's no shame in just playing 2 strings for a while and really getting it down, and then you can add and add and add to it. All right, so that would be the first thing. Really have a scale. You can trust, just play it properly. That's what I would do. After that, that would be my first level, right? My second level might be that I should play it in all keys. Right? The good thing about it is that if I really taken my time to study the position, now I can go to other keys and the movements are the same. The position, the fingering is the same. So maybe I would do this. I would play it in C, and then I would use the circle of fifths to go through all the keys. So I would do F, I would do B flat, and then so on, E flat, and so on. I would do the whole circle. That might take a while. I may be able to do it today. Maybe I'll just have to save some of it for tomorrow. That's no issue at all. So now I have a very steady, good, and perfectly played position, and I'm moving from key to key, right? This will take less and less time as you go along. Then maybe I would say, you know what, I should add something more. Maybe I should work on my technique, on my picking. How about we do alternate picking for this? It could be all downstrokes, all upstrokes. I don't know what you're working on, but certainly you can apply it. So now I will really focus on my alternate picking or whatever it is. And you can keep going like this. at different levels. And I understand that the first level might take you a week, but if you keep doing it, then you will be able to condense all that stuff into a very short time, and your playing will improve drastically. So let's say now that I'm studying arpeggios instead, as another example, and I have to know them, they're very important, and let's say I'm working on my major 7th arpeggio. First of all, I'm gonna get it down perfect. No doubts in my mind nor in my fingers of what I'm doing. And so if I have to do it 2 strings at a time, I will do that. It doesn't matter, as long as I'm playing perfectly. And then when I feel comfortable, I can add until I have it all down perfectly. All right, so I'm gonna do that first, and then I could move it around in keys like we did with the scales, but let's try something different. Let's say now that I want to modify it. I learned my major 7th, and I'm thinking, how about I transform into the closest one, maybe the dominant 7th? Well, all I'll do is find the right note and change it to a dominant. Like that. Right, take my time, but see, this is a lot easier. Out of the 4 notes, I'm only changing 1, and I'm building on some very solid foundation. Right, another thing I could do is work on my pick, but let's do more things. Let's work on the tempo. Let's say now I should work on a shuffle feel, right? I can apply a shuffle to this. And so maybe I'll do something like this. Like that. Now apply this to any chord, 20 scales, it's infinite. And the point about this video actually is not that you do what I'm doing in these 2 examples, but instead that you use them just as a way of, getting your mind around the fact that there's many things you can do as long as you layer them on solid ground. So always add a layer when the previous layer is strong enough. All right, I hope you enjoyed this video. Again, if you did, please do join us in this channel. And any questions, any comments you have, feel free to add them below. Thank you very much, and I'll see you soon.